There you go.
Okay, so that's cool. All right. Sorry to interrupt, Sharon.
But
Okay.
so, and I will. What I'm going to do is I'll show you the integration because really that's what you're looking for, and then we can circle back around and talk about a lot of the fluff and cool things that we do. But as I tell clients, there are better point of sale systems on the market. I think we're one of the best integrated point of sale systems, and we're working a lot. This user interface, as you can see, I'm hoping you can see the user interface here. It's got cash customer up on top. It's pretty generic user interface.
Mm-hmm.
This can be configured to kind of how you want. We have clients that use touch screen. We have clients that don't use touch screen. It just depends on how you want to engage the system. So I'm going to show you this using this interface, but know full well that you can use what you choose. So a couple things. So I just clicked on the magnifying glass here to look up customers. Now you can look up customers by any number of ways. First name, last name, phone number. If you have customer IDs that you're comfortable with, you can do that. I'm just going to pull this up just to show you. If it has an accounting ID here, that means it's a customer in MYOB Advanced. So all of these customers are customers in MYOB Advanced. We also have customers that are not. You can manage customers outside of MYOB Advanced, but most of our clients elect to go ahead and put the clients in. As I mentioned, phone number, state, zip code, however you choose to look them up, you can. The other thing is we have this loyalty ID here. We have two loyalty mechanisms. This loyalty ID is just a real simple way of looking up a client. If you, like I said, if you have a customer number or whatever you may choose. And for example, I happen to have one here. In front of me, by the way, I have a sheet of barcodes and a barcode reader. So everything we do is barcode enabled. Now you can still look things up, but it's barcode enabled. So for example, I'm going to come in here and I hit the button that says to scan the loyalty ID. I'm going to scan this person, James Brown. Now you'll notice this particular client has customer notes. So you can set up customer notes in MYOB Advanced. For example, let's come in here. We'll look at finance, accounts receivable, customers, and we'll look up this particular customer, which is James Brown. Let's see. Okay. Oh, there it is. It'll help if I click on it. And you can see that we put notes here, and when you enter a note here, that note will appear on the register here. So you can enter notes from the register, or you can enter notes from MYOB Advanced. And when you engage this customer, it'll pop up. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, and if there's any questions, just like I said, let me know. One of the other things you can see from this particular customer is I can go back and I can look up their customer history. So in this case, I'm just going to look up their sales history. I can look up the last 50 transactions, or if they say, I don't know, I was in here last month, I can narrow it by date range. Or if they say, I don't know, I bought a particular item, if I have that, I can scan that item in and see when they bought it, or I can look it up and see when they bought it.
Wow, that's awesome.
Or I can go back and say, if you barcode your receipts, I can scan in the receipt. But in this case, I'm just going to come in and say, okay, let's look up. Now, we're enhancing this so that right now you'll see it's in summary. It would be nice if it were in detail, but I can check on any one transaction. I can see what they purchased. I can see how they paid for it. So obviously, if they paid via credit card or on account, I don't necessarily want to give them cash. Again, I can see how they purchased it. I can see if they shipped it anywhere. In this case, they did not. And I'll talk to you about the shipping side of things. But I can copy the sale if they want to say, okay, I want that again. I can copy it. I can also use this screen for refunding. So let's say I come in here and they say, okay, which one of these items am I going to refund? Let's say it's this one. And the reason we suggest you do it this way is that if you gave them crazy pricing for whatever reason, it'll know that pricing. So
Wow.
we always suggest that people use this as their starting point for refunds. We can do refunds, and we can do either a solid refund or we can do an exchange, so a refund and a sale. You can do all that on the same transaction.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so here's what we'll do with your, oh, one more thing before we get too far into this. So just like we can look up customers, we can also look up items. So I just clicked on the magnifying glass by the item, and I have this. Now, I can look up by item key. If you set up in MYOB Advanced, you have your item classes. I can look by class. So I may have different types of classes that's set up, and it all comes in. And all your inventory, by the way, is all your inventory is managed from MYOB Advanced. So you set up an item, you set your pricing, everything is managed, and then the data comes down into the register. Now the customers, the customers, I can create a customer from the register and write it back into MYOB Advanced. But by default, all the customers from MYOB, I can have them come down into the register. Okay?
Okay.
So pricing, quantity on hand, barcodes, UPC codes. I can have multiple codes per item. If I want to look up, you'll notice by default it's looking at my location. If I have multiple locations, I can, oh, I got a ton of them. Okay. I can look up all locations. So this would be store 1, store 2. To be perfectly honest, I'm not sure what these are. But anyway, it's all the different locations I have. So, and it's a contains search, so it's a search within a search. So I have the items up here, and I just want to, let's say I'm going to look up everything that's got the word sweet in it. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I picked one. Didn't mean to do that. It's going to do this. We're going to say, so everything that's got that in it. So then I can pull those up and I can select those. So if I have, it's basically the point is it's a search within a search. So
Yes.
easy to look items up. All right. Now, okay, so I showed you kind of how to look up customers, and we can, at any point in time, by the way, if I come in here and I look up a customer and I'm at the cash register and I want to edit that information, I can edit that if you allow your clerks to do that. We are aware of the credit, so it will, if you're over your credit limit, it will alert you. Typically, it will allow you to override that. It just depends on how you want to run your operation.
Yes.
Okay. So I can also say I can add a customer. So somebody walks in, I want to track them. I want to at least have their name and their email. I can track them from within the system. Just create a customer, writes it back into MYOB Advanced, and tracks this transaction to that customer. Okay. All right. So let's run through I'll show you the integration so you can see what we're up to. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to do my James Brown guy, because I like music. And there. And now I'm going to scan a couple of items. Again, I'm just scanning on my barcode reader here. We can handle 2D barcodes or 3D barcodes, whichever you choose.
Yeah.
Also handle QR codes if you need to.
Yeah. So you don't have to click on enter to go to a new line. You just keep scanning, do you?
Yeah, right. If I want to scan another one, just scan it.
Wow. That's
And
great.
what if it's not barcoded? Can you just type the description up there?
I can do this. I can type in, like, let's say I want this 101 3200, and I type 101, and I'll just sort it by I'll put there. So these are all the ones that have 101. So then I can say, oh, well, here's the one I'm looking for. There it is.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
Mm.
real simple transaction. So let's just say this person comes in, and we have this tender. And as you can see, the payment types are mapped to your payment types in MYOB Advanced. So cash, check, on account, gift card. So let's just say they pay half in cash, 100. And by the way, U.S. dollars. We can handle multi-currency. So if you have a register that has to accept more than one currency, we can handle that as well. My default is just U.S. dollars. I probably should change that. So they paid half on that, and then the balance they're going to put on account. I can put if I require them to put a PO number, I can do that there. And then it's going to have a signature pad. For on-account payments, it'll have a signature pad required, or you can turn it off or on. But typically, you want to be able to do that. So we said.
Is that for touch screen?
Yeah, it's the touch screen, or it's the touch screen that you can squiggle on it.
Yeah.
Can you get an attachment to?
Yeah.
Oh, my daughter Sam and Liz are here as well.
Oh, good. Yeah, you can have an attachment that'll capture the signature on the side. Like that. You can print the receipt. You can email the receipt. You can do both, or you can do neither.
So that pops up automatic.
What we're seeing is
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna print it. Oh, just to show you what it looks like on my screen here. I've got it's over on my other screen. Oh, this is every output out of the system can either be 8.5 by 11 or a receipt printer like this, or both. So pretty standard, straightforward. So move that out of the way. And I'm going to say just OK. Transaction is done. So now when I come in here to MYOB Advanced, I'm going to come in and look. Oh, okay. Let's go to, I'll show you how this works.
Can I just ask a question there? Sharon, when I was with you last week, we talked about some of the difficulty you had in getting the right size printer for the printing for the receipt.
Yes.
Okay, so I think Mike just showed you that you can do 2 different sizes, so I think that covers off on that requirement.
Yeah, that would solve that. That would be good.
Okay, sorry, Mike, go ahead. I'm just reading off my notes from my meetings with Sharon and the team up there, and that was one of the problems that they had within their MYOB Advanced implementation of operations currently. So they wanted to be able to print off receipts on a small printer, which wasn't able to be done.
Yeah.
Use the docket printer, the normal printer.
Yeah, this type of normal receipt printer is pretty configurable. You can, the way to look at this is, here's your register number, and then here's your transaction, and here's your store. So when you get done, you'll have this transaction ID, which will have all of that information. So you'll be able to track every transaction to the clerk, to the store, to the register.
Yeah.
Can you choose?
And where do they put their staff number, or is that barcoded in?
Their employee. We track, I think this is what you're getting at. We handle two things. The clerk, who is the person who's ringing it up, and then we also handle the salesperson, because quite often they're going to be different.
Yeah.
So you can have a clerk, and alternatively, I can have I can change salesperson here, so I can track both independently.
Okay.
We can also have multiple commission plans. So if I have 2 or 3 salespeople on one sale, I can handle that commission tracking.
Mm.
Okay.
So when you start a sale, we have to go to that salesperson icon.
Well, there's 2 ways to do it. And I'll show you. I'm going to get this MYOB thing, minimize that a little bit. I'm going to move it over here so it won't bother me. In our, we have a separate admin utility because quite often our users are not in MYOB Advanced. They don't have to be. And the reason I'm going to show you this is kind of how we regulate the stores and register classes. I can have any number of register classes operating at the same time. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is security. No, sorry. Options. Anytime you have options and then more options, you can tell you've been doing this too long. Because one of the questions is always, when do I require, let's see. Okay, these are, when do I require a manager's password? So for an item discount over X%, for sale discounts, refunds, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, log in, log out. Here, do I require a login per sale? If you can, if you have your clerks have like a swipe card or something like that, or a scan, that's if you want each person to manage their own sales. Typically, what happens is you turn this on, you flip that button, and then when I walk up to the register, the first thing it's going to ask me is, "Who are you?" And I can either scan my badge, or I can enter my login. Yeah, exactly. And then it'll update it automatically.
And we as managers can choose whatever login we want to give to them, is that correct?
You betcha.
And does it have minimum amount of numbers or letters or whatever?
No, we have clients that have like 1.
Yeah, well, that's what we go like 1, 2, 3.
Right.
So we can use our own numbers.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Correct. And so other things that in here, simple things like, let's see, layaways and things like, one of the questions that you guys had on your wish list was that ability to pop up notes when I log in.
Yes.
Okay. The way I did that was here, it says show customer notes on dialogue, which means that's my fancy. So I can turn that off if I want, or I can keep it on if I want.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
And the other one you just mentioned briefly about refunds require a manager's. Can you just touch on that?
Yeah, like let's see, security. Do I require a manager's password for refund?
Yes,
we need that.
Just check that, and you're off and running.
Yeah, good. Okay.
So,
this is great.
So like reason codes for returns. So a reason code is why are you returning it? Obviously. And like if you're going to change price, do I require a reason code? If you're going to discount, do I require a reason code? All these types, like when I exchange, all this kind of stuff. As you can tell, we've been doing this a while, and so all right.
Thought of everything.
Well, We've done everything wrong at least once. So, okay, so now let's go in and look at that transaction from an MYOB perspective. All right, so we're back to MYOB. Now, we create a couple of, you'll notice that we have a Fusion invoice, a Fusion order, and a Fusion return. These are only, you don't have to use these. We do this so that you can differentiate retail sales from other kind of sales. Again,
yes.
you don't have to do it, but let's just come in here and we'll look at this, and I'll explain the difference between an invoice and an order in just a second. But let's go look at this invoice that we did. Let's see, I'm going to look up today. All right. We were having an issue with this earlier today, and I think the boys fixed it. I just want to make sure they did it right. Okay. So, basically these are transactions that we've done that are completed and brought into the system. The payments have been applied. Here's, the payments have been applied. It was a check or whatever the case may be. So the point of it all is that when you close the transaction at the register, you don't really have to do anything in MYOB Advanced. The transaction is brought into the system, and it's updated automatically. Now, I'll show you one other cool little thing. So let's assume I'm going to come back in and do my James Brown thing again, just because I can. Okay, he's a good customer. Got that. I'm going to bring in a couple of three items here. Now, I don't know if this is your cup of tea, but when I show clients this, quite often they realize that, like the store, let's just say this customer comes in, and this particular item here up on top, let's just say for whatever reason I don't have it, or I'm going to ship it to them, or they're going to pick it up at a later date.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
we do.
We need that.
Yeah.
We need this.
I can come in and, first off, like I said, you can call these buttons anything you want. We call this one shipping. But I can come in here and hit this and say, okay. And all it does is brings up this particular transaction. It says this particular item, we're going to ship it to them, or they can pick it up or whatever. And we're going to pull it out of a different warehouse. We're going to charge them $10. And we're going to put damage. I don't know why. But so we say okay. And then we say okay. Now, you'll notice it changed the warehouse. So if I have a floor stock versus a warehouse, it made it notation that it's a ship, meaning I'm not going to invoice it right now in MYOB. And here's my make sure I check for damage. So I'm going to come in here, and again, let's just say I'm going to pay half down, and I'm going to put the balance on account, and I'm going to say okay. And I'm going to put my little signature here. And I'll show you what this looks like from a printed receipt perspective. So,
is this the point you can choose whether you want to print it on a docket or you want to print it on a ledger?
Yeah, and you can email it as well.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and print it. All right, so.
If the customer is set up for automatic email, do you still have to click one of these options?
Right. Well, you can set it up to automatically, but most people elect to keep this button the way it is. If you have your email address here, all you got to do is hit that button, and you're
Yeah.
done. But I appreciate your point. So here's the receipt, and again, this is a little one. You can have it on a larger one, but this says this item is to be shipped, and here's your instructions, and here's how they paid for it. They put cash, and then they put on account, and you'll notice it says down here that the signature was captured. Here's your freight charge. So I'm just going to say okay. Now, let's go in here. Good Lord willing. Now, the differentiation between a Fusion invoice and a Fusion sales order. An invoice is a closed transaction, meaning cash and carry. I don't need any more. There's nothing going to happen. An order has a something left over. Like in this case, okay, so in this case, here was the 4 items, or 3 items that they bought. Here's the freight that we charge. We charge $10. Here's the note. Make sure to check for damages. Okay. Now you'll notice these 2 items here have been shipped, which in MYOB world, what that means is they've been relieved from inventory, right?
Yeah.
And here's your shipment, so you can see what was shipped. Your invoice number will be down here as well. In this case, I have it set up not to automatically invoice, but you could do it either way. So the key here is, and this one item though remains open, so it's on a back order, if you will. So these 2 items have been invoiced. This last item remains in a back order status, which then I can ship or deliver or do whatever using my normal MYOB advanced processes. So we do have clients that use Fusion for order entry because it's quick and it's easy and it's simple. Some people say it's easier than a traditional ERP order entry system.
That's what we're wondering.
But we don't use this one.
If the customer wanted to pay for it all and then they pick it up later, do you use this? How would you do that?
Well, you can recall the order and pick it up from the store. The system will ask you, is there any payment left on it or not? There's a couple of ways to interrupt a sale. So what I mean by that is, let's say somebody's going to come in and they're going to buy a couple of items, and they left their wallet in the car. They, whatever the case may be.
Oh, we had to go and collect stock and we didn't want it to be taken.
Right.
Because we might have 4 or 5 people serving and only have 3 of these, and one of them's going to get stock, so the next one serves somebody. This is where the point would be ideal for this you're just about to talk about.
I believe
the 2,000.
Yeah.
Like minimize this one.
That's what he's just saying, suspend the sale.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Carry on.
Sorry. So let's say the people come in and for whatever reason they need to, we need to suspend the sale. I can suspend it, it's number 4, and now I can go on. My next client comes up, he buys, and it's just a cash customer, and they buy something, and you'll see we have these quick cash buttons here, which can be adjusted. So in this case, if it were 19 in the States, there would be a $20, and we can adjust this for Australia. So I just come in, they don't want a receipt, I'm good to go. I say okay. Now let's say that person comes back, I can come in here, I can recall that sale, and what this will do is I can recall the sale that I had suspended at any point in time. So I just simply hit the recall button, it'll cascade through my suspended sales until I
You can
find
have a here.
right.
That back order, can you deal with that in Fusion instead of Advanced?
You can deal with it in Fusion if you wait. Give me about another 60 days. Because right now, the way the system was engineered was that I would ship it out of MYOB Advanced.
Yeah.
What we're doing now as part of the next generation is I can alt S.
Because they might come back in
Right.
next week to pick up their stock, and so they'll be walking into the area where this Fusion is standing, and that's how we'd have to deal with it.
Right. You will be able to, if you give me about 60, 90 days, what we're working on is, oh, that's suspended sale. Sorry. You can recall the sale and complete it at the register. I can't show you that right now, but that's in the works. We do it for another accounting system, and we're doing it for, I'm trying to recall.
Oh, get rid of that now.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, you'll be able to recall it from the register and print it from the register.
Yeah.
So if we do the IN in Advanced, we can't bring it up in Fusion yet? Is that what you're talking about as well?
That's correct. If you create a sales order in MYOB Advanced, you cannot, at this juncture, recall it at the register and close it. You will be able to do that, like I said, within...
But that's coming.
Yeah, yeah. We already do it for other accounting systems, and we just needed to add it when we do it here. I'm trying to show you how it would work. Anyway. So in any event, you'll be able to recall it, close it, take payment, and then what it will do is it'll essentially create a shipment for this last item and then invoice it in MYOB Advanced. Okay, so you're right. It's something that more and more people are asking for, and so we're adding it.
Okay.
I can also, I can create a quote from the register. So if I want to save this, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to save it. And then do I want to print it? I can print it. I would say no. But then when I want to recall the quote, either I can look up the customer. Let's say that James Brown guy comes back in, and I want to say I'm going to look up Brown.
Quote in the same screen.
And he comes back in, and I want to recall the quote for that customer. And it's going to say, okay, here was the quote that I had saved for that particular customer. So then if I want to add another item to it, I simply add another item, then I can tender it out, close it out. He's going to take the check. So, and again, if you give me your email, give me an email, I can send it, and I'll show you what, I'll email it to you.
Office?
Office?
At northsidecs.com.au.
I think you've missed an at. There, Mike, you missed at.
Oh.
Office. Yeah.
Office
at.
Oh, there you go. Office at. Sorry. Okay. Hopefully that'll work. See how that works.
You just press email or okay?
Yep. I just press email and it should go out and we should be okay.
Go up tomorrow.
Other things we can do that you would imagine, pretty straightforward. I don't know if you all are interested in a loyalty program, but we just introduced a really killer loyalty program that.
Oh, we have gradings. We have gradings for loyal customers.
Okay.
So that'll bring that through from advanced, won't it, their prices?
Yes, yes. Yeah, so if you have different pricing for your customers, whatever the case may be, it'll bring that through.
Right.
Um,
That's sort of our loyalty, isn't it?
Yeah.
The gradings.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
The more they buy, the better grade they go on.
Right, exactly.
We have that set up in MYOB Advanced
Right.
already.
Yeah.
Your MYOB advanced gradings are rated based on the price you provide them or the discount you're giving them. But I think Mike's actually talking about an additional loyalty program which rewards them over and above maybe their discount based on volume or whatever they buy.
Yeah, we have that. We have that for some. We need that for some customers.
I'll show you something that you can keep with you. It's not something you have to do right now, but it's a cool thing. I'm pulling up my phone here because it's on my phone. So if you see crazy things, don't look at bad things on my phone. All right, so let's see. This is my phone. Now, okay, that's a bad picture of me, so I'm old, by the way. So this is an app that runs on your iPhone or any Android phone, doesn't matter. So I can, and obviously you're going to see my little thing, but you can touch it. So sorry, I guess it would help. I'm touching this screen, I got to touch my phone. All right, so I touch my face and it shows who I am, and it has all of my contact information. You'll see it has points that I can ascribe based on what I buy and who I am. So if I want to reward my A customers for buying a particular class of items this weekend, I can give them double points. When I touch right here, this is my member ID card, so I can scan that at the register.
Wow.
Sorry, I keep touching the. I can also store locations. Again, it may not be your cup of tea, but if I have different store locations, I can go through, and it tells me where they am, or if a particular store has a phone number, Facebook page, all that. Oh, there you go. Wow, I got big. If I have, what I can do is I can take my points, and this will show my history of purchases. I can take my points and I can redeem them in the form of a gift card, which can then be consumed at the register. The gift cards are maintained in real time. So when I walk up and I buy, when I buy something, you'll notice. Oh, sorry. Oh, somebody sent me a text. Oh, sorry about that. Well, that's a bad thing. I got to be careful with that. So remember at the register here, I'm going to just pick an item so I can have a sale. And one of the things here was gift card. I scan in my gift card from here. Oh, sorry. I scan it in, and it'll decrement the gift card for the amount I put on the sale.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if you have things, I don't necessarily have this, but if you have events, let's see, I have another one set up here. So if I have events, I think this one has more events in it. Yeah. So let's say I'm going to have a wine tasting, or I'm going to have a training class for my customers. I can come in here and I can do this, and it'll add it to the calendar. The next thing we're adding to this right now is the ability to buy a ticket. So if I have a wine tastings and I can only allow 20 people, I can buy a ticket for that tasting. Also, things like where it really gets cool, now this can get expensive, but where it gets cool is the promotions. Because it's geocentric, it knows, the system knows when you're in the store. So if you're close to the store, I can send you a promotion for an item.
Oh, yes.
It's kind of cool. Now,
Yeah.
so any of it. First, and the promotions, I'll be honest with you, the promotions can get a little crazy. But the wallet, the ability to have a gift card that I no longer have to purchase plastic cards or anything like that. This is kind of where the world is headed.
Yeah. Scanning.
Yeah. So you just scan it at the register. It updates it, like I said, in real time. They can replenish the gift card. So let's assume I'm going to come in here. I'm going to say escape. Let's assume, I'm just going to avoid this. Let's assume I come in and I want to, I hope I have it set up. I want to replenish a gift card. I can scan the item. Yeah. I can basically, I don't have that gift card set up, but I can enter the gift card, I can scan, I can tender it, and what it will do is add more money to the gift card at any point in time. So I can recharge it if I want.
Wow. Yep.
So, and all of that, so that's, the other thing that we're doing that you should know about is, along with some of the changes we're making, is by January of next year, we will have this register is a Windows-based register. By January of next year, we will have a web-based iOS, Android register. A lot of our clients, this register, if the internet goes down, this register keeps operating. So for a lot of our clients, that's a great thing.
Yes.
So they don't want a web-based point-of-sale system. Because, so the other thing that if you ever do pop-up type events, mobile stores or anything like that, this will run on pretty much any laptop.
Okay.
So what we have a lot of clients that load up inventory, go to a trade show or something like that. We'll run the trade show off of this. And remember, if I don't have it, let's say I'm going to do this, and somebody comes in and they want these 3 items, but this last item I don't have, I can always ship it from the main warehouse.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
You can take these 2 and I can ship the 3rd. So
that's good.
So I was looking at your punch list here, and the one thing wasn't able to show you is the previously booked. I think that's what you were referring to. So when somebody,
what one's that?
it says we do take account debtor payments over the counter for goods that have been previously booked.
Oh yes.
Payments.
Now you can take a payment if let's just say, let's just say somebody comes in here. Let me avoid this. Somebody comes in and they want to make a payment on account.
Yes.
I can do that. Just simply come in here and I can put it on account, and I want to pay, I want to set the payment of $100. I can say okay and enter, and then it's just going to say, how do you want to pay for it? I'm going to say I'm going to give you cash, okay, and I'll print it just to show you what it looks like, and say okay. Oh, it's going to print it. What it's going to do is it's just going to make a payment on the account of this particular client. So if there is an invoice that's open, you can take payment for it at the register. We do take orders. Let's see. Oh, you said you have customers that kind of buy the same thing over and over again?
Yeah.
You can save templates for a customer so that when they come in, you can simply recall that template and it'll populate it. Of course, it puts the quantities at 0. but it'll populate a sample, if you will, and then you
Right.
add.
But you can look up the history though.
But you said before you could look up an invoice and then you could duplicate that invoice.
Correct. Yeah, I won't.
That would be
I won't take.
what we would.
Yeah, you would put. Let's say that customer comes in and they said, I want to buy what I bought last time. Oh, of course, naturally, this particular customer doesn't have any purchase history. All right, let's pick one that does. So we're going to come in here. We're going to look up a customer. James Brown, we know he's got stuff. I'm going to look up his purchase history, and I can say, like I said, you have a number of ways to look for it, but usually if it's the last one, I was in here last time, okay, here's what you bought last time. And if you want to you want the same thing, you say, okay.
Copy sale.
So there it is there. And I just run it up again.
And then just process that.
Yep. Just process it as you would. Now in Australia, in Canada, it's a process. Is Australia, is it a process or a process?
Process.
Okay. I'll get used to it.
So how did you make a debtor payment?
When you made that payment for the customer,
Yes.
that had previously put things on the account, does that just take it off of what their bill? It doesn't actually take it off of.
Does it take it off the oldest invoice?
What will happen, like this particular transaction, this was the one where this one item was not carried out. So let's say for whatever reason we had to order it for the customer. Okay?
And that's what he paid the $100 off of.
Yeah, he went ahead and paid for everything in this case. But
okay, well if he went and put it on account, an account customer, and they came in to pay their bill from say a month ago, can you pay that off in Fusion?
all right, so yeah. Let's say James Brown. So let's try it. Come in here, the register. We'll look up James Brown. So he just wants to make a payment. Oh, sorry. Helps if I pick the customer. Pick the customer. This is James Brown, and he's going to make a payment. This particular one says he doesn't have anything. He doesn't owe anything right now, but if he did, I could say, I want to set the payment. How much is he going to pay? And I would say he's going to pay $100. And if I want to put comments, I can do that. And I'm going to say, okay, and enter it. How's he going to pay for it? It's going to be cash. Say enter. And I can print it, or I could print him a receipt.
Tells you what he owes there right then. Because sometimes they walk in and say, how much do I owe you?
So they want us to add it up for them.
You can there's a couple things you can do. I can, at any point in time, remember, I can pull up MYOB Advanced by just clicking this, or what this will show you it'll show you how much they owe you as of, like when I did the James Brown guy.
Yeah.
What it did was it said, I want to just pay. James comes up, he says, I want to make a payment. Say, okay.
Yes.
What this would show is the balance. As I said, he doesn't owe anything. This would show a balance. And then you would say, how much of that do you want to pay? And he would say, I want to pay $100. Okay. And I would just hit this, and you'll see the payment's now $100. And if he had a balance, it would show it.
But it doesn't show individual invoices.
Right.
Doesn't it?
It does not show individual.
Okay.
It shows what they totally owe.
Right. If you want to, keep in mind it is at its core a point of sale system.
Yeah.
So then I would just simply say, okay, how do I want to pay for it? Again, the cash, say enter, say okay. Now, the way that would appear in here, I'm not even sure I have it set up to process that, but let's give it a shot. Yeah, I don't have a process to.
Mm.
Yeah. So what the system was doing was just putting a payment on this account. But what it would come up with is a payment, just a general payment on account, not applied to any invoice, because they may have multiple invoices. Now, let me say this. In MYOB Advanced, there are two ways of applying payments to invoices. One is the kind of the retail way, what they call balance forward, which means just apply the payment to the next invoice, which is kind of when you think about when you get a credit card statement, you don't pick which invoice you're paying. You just pay the credit card statement. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You got 10 invoices on your credit card statement. When you pay, half of that, it doesn't apply it to a specific invoice. It just applies it to your balance. You can set MYOB Advanced to do that. Most people don't. The alternative is what they call specific allocation, where you say, I want this payment to go to this invoice and this payment to go to this invoice. You would have to do that from inside of MYOB Advanced.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We're just looking at replacing our MYOB Advanced sessions with Fusion on the counter. So they're not going to be able to minimise, they're not going to have access to Advanced. So one of us admin girls will have to do the data payments from another machine.
Yeah, if you want to apply it to a specific invoice, yes.
Specific invoice, yeah. We'll just have to go to one of our admin users.
You can have the girls apply it, take the payment and you apply it if you want.
Oh, how do you do that?
Well, when you come in through accounts receivable, this is where I'm out of my element. So you would have a payment on account that's unapplied. What you would then do is come in through finance into accounts receivable and payments and applications, and I'm sure I don't have anything in here, but you would say, okay, the customer is, let's look up Brown and see if he's in here. So here's James Brown. I'm going to load documents. So what I'm going to do, I would do is load these are the outstanding invoices he has. Then I would apply my payment to these particular invoices. So I'm not an expert on doing this stuff here, but the girls...
That's all right. What you're saying is that you could do it at the cash, take the $100, goes against James Mason, what was his name, Mason, and then as a secondary step behind the scenes, you guys can go and pick up the $100 and apply it to whichever invoice you want in whatever amount you want.
See? Right? Osmond is brilliant.
That's
spot on, Osmond.
Good man.
So you can do it. I think it's a better way of doing it, Sharon and Liz, because it doesn't stop you and hold up at the retail counter for you to try and allocate it to a particular invoice.
Pay something.
Just take the money. If they actually tell you they want to pay $100 and pay it off a particular invoice, you can put it in the notes, as he showed you before, and say, I'll take the $100. You put it against the account for Mason or Brown, or whatever his name was, and then you guys pick it up in admin in the office there and say, I'm going to allocate this now like you would normally.
And see, you could give it this receipt that says payment on account, and he'll have it. I paid $100, and again, it just says so he walks away with evidence that he made a payment for his own peace of mind.
Yeah.
And like Osmond said, you guys in the back office would apply it.
How do we remember to apply that in the back office?
Good question. No one's. Well, when you.
There's a few ways you can do that if you wanted. So you could have a report that comes out on a hourly basis, a half-day basis.
Okay, yeah.
And then
Out
you
of
just do
Fusion.
after the MYOB Advanced, and that can be a notification that comes up to you, or even when you log into MYOB Advanced, you could have a dashboard of payments that are unapplied.
Ah,
There's a
okay.
number of scenarios, so we just need to find the one that works best for you.
Yeah.
It hasn't been set up. It hasn't been set up in your MYOB Advanced implementation, but you can do that, as Carl says.
Yeah.
You can pull up. It says all cash payments came in by account that's unallocated, and then that means it's a to-do list for you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
One thing I do want to show you.
Afterwards, Sharon. Carl and I will follow that up with Brad, and we'll just let. But this is a good step to do it. It doesn't hold you up at the retail counter. Take the dollars, put it against the account, and then apply it to whatever invoice you want. Oldest invoice, whatever you choose to do, or break it up into $10 payments to each invoice, whatever you like. It's up to you then. You can apply it to whatever you choose to. Most people would probably apply it to the oldest invoice, but that's up to you.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
It's kind of, as we're wrapping up the end of day process, which is pretty straightforward, but is good. An X tape is just how am I doing throughout the course of the day. People run X tapes all the time, see my sales, discounts I've given. That's where we always, how are we doing for today? Well, you just run an X tape and you'll see. Now, the Z tape, the way you close the drawer is you say, okay, I'm going to run a Z tape. It's going to ask me what my ending cash was. Okay. Okay. Oops, sorry.
Then it rings a bell to tell you that it's the end of the day.
Then it's going to give me I don't have my cash count turned on, but it's going to give me my cash count for when I say I want to count my 1s, 10s, 5s, 20s. At the end of the day, my Z tape, as is printed here, and my over short report will be emailed kind of anywhere you want. Typically, it's emailed to the store manager and to you guys. So that way, if there is a big short, I know what I'm going to get hit with. But the end of day reporting is pretty straightforward. Just count your cash, enter your 5s, 1s, and 10s. And then what happens is the Z tape is run. It's emailed also along with your overshort to wherever you set up that you want to see it. So if you have multiple stores or whatever the case may be, it's very helpful to get the Z tape in the morning when you walk in, and there's everything that went on.
Okay.
There is a basic time clock. It does a good job of telling you when you worked. It's not really a planning time clock, but we do have a basic time clock. A lot of security. The way the security works, I won't bore you with it too much, but it's a role-based security management system. So what you do is you come in and you say, okay, administration, obviously, green light means they have access. So they have full access to everything. If I'm a clerk, then I may not have access to certain things. So then when I hire a new person, I can simply assign them to a group, and they have the rights of that group. Now, I can only assign a group below mine, if that makes sense. So a store manager cannot give anyone else store manager rights. They can give them assistant manager rights, but not manager rights. So it allows you to set somebody up. It's a Saturday, you got a new clerk, you can go ahead and set them up. You don't have to do anything in MYOB Advanced. It's all done outside the system. We also have a basic set of reports, a couple hundred reports that these are more these are what I call store level reports. Top selling items, bottom selling items, daily sales by salesperson. These are things that as a store manager I would want to know. I'm not going to run I can't run a financial statement out of here, but I can see how am I doing, you know, that kind of stuff. So these are standard reports, bottom 100, top 100, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, and we fully expect if there's reports you don't want, sales by hour or by clerk is a big popular report. You know, it helps you do your budgeting for how many people do I need on a Saturday. Well, I can see what are my sales by clerk on a Saturday, that kind of stuff. When to take my lunch breaks. And all that stuff.
And that's over and above all the reports you can get out of MYOB as well.
Yeah, and exactly what Osmond was saying, because you can see, since we create report, what we do, and I hate to diminish what it is that we do, but we create transactions in MYOB Advanced. So all of the reporting that you have in MYOB Advanced, we populate transactions that you can run all those reports. So it's not a separate system. You don't have to sync data. You don't have to copy things over. It's just an extension of MYOB Advanced.
Yeah, it links instantly.
I guess one of the reports there was, you know, sales by hour by clerk or clerk. That's probably one that I can't recall seeing that in MYOB Advanced, but that's very specific to the retail point of sale because it's tracking those as it goes. So you know, it's integrated in, and you can pull any type of report you want because all the transactions that have gone through are updating inventory within MYOB Advanced.
Right.
And over and above that, the point of sale is tracking it by the minute as it's being done on each register.
And you can just upload, or you can operate just on the C drive and then upload to MYOB Advanced Cloud when you choose, can't you?
Yeah, you can. Most of our clients set it up to run, you know, every 5 minutes or once a day, or depending on how you want to do it. The key question is, how important is it to you that your MYOB Advanced inventory be up to date?
Yeah.
If once a day is fine, okay, once a day is fine. Just do it at midnight. But if we do have clients that run it, you know, every 5 minutes that connect instantly, essentially. It just depends on how you want to do it.
But it'll just depend on the speed. If it slows Fusion down,
no, it will. We will never. Nothing slows the register. Put it that way. We've got clients pumping away at 8,000. Our largest client does about 8,000 transactions a day at one store.
Wow.
So Fusion is a workhorse. It's like I said.
I'm just thinking of internet speed.
Yeah. And that's why you can set it up. We have clients, for example, that will go to an event like a book fair or a whatever, and when they go to the hotel at night, they send the data. You know, so it just depends. You know,
we probably will need it happening fairly quickly, but we'll just test out the speed of it. If it's fast, we'll do, you know, fairly quick updates.
Well, from the register's perspective, you'll never know that you're updating.
Yeah, it's a background process. Liz, it would be a background process updating MYOB Advanced inventory anyway.
But we would be, in our business, we'd be better off having it updating fairly frequently because I might have to work on something the girls have just done at the counter. So, you know, so that'd be, Okay.
Yeah.
And if it's not going to affect the register, then we can do it as frequently as possible.
Yeah, like Mike said, it really depends on how important it is to you to know your inventory balance is correct every single minute, or, you know, do you run down stocks? Do your stocks run down quite a lot during the day? Yes or no? We don't know. You can only tell me that. But if you don't have that kind of problem, then you know, we can decide together, say, well, okay, it makes sense to have it real time, or every 5 minutes, or every 2 hours, or whatever. You know?
Yep.
Yeah. So, what happened then? Oh, so we can't. at this stage, we can't convert we call it a picking slip. We can't convert that to account in Fusion.
Explain to me the scenario.
If a customer walks in
so
and they say, can you deliver this
on
Can
Friday.
you deliver this on Friday? And that's the only sale that they've walked in and go, well, that's what he's just explained to
Yeah,
us.
I could come in and say, okay, I'm going to do these people. They're going to buy an item, and can you deliver it to me on Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to come in here and say that. Say, okay, we're going to ship it from the main warehouse, wherever. We're going to deliver it on Friday, which is there. Do you want to charge them anything?
Yeah, $5 per say.
Just because we could. And we'll put, don't forget.
Leave it front counter. Leave it.
We want to deliver it.
Oh yeah, deliver to front door, putting just
There you
as an argument.
Yeah, you can put anything you like there, yeah.
Deliver to front door.
All I can do is spell. Okay, deliver to front door. All right, so, got okay? Is he going to pay for it?
Yes.
Oh, he's going to pay, all right. So let's just say he pays.
No. Well, we'll do 2 scenarios.
Well, let's
But
just
this
say,
man's going to pay for it. Yep. Except
yeah,
Are
let's
you going to
say,
charge him for the product in this process as well, or is it a COD, cash on delivery?
this one we're charging, we're going to do 3 scenarios. So this one we're charging now and we're delivering it Friday.
Okay, charge now at time of order.
charge now. Okay,
Yep.
good.
Yep.
I'll print it just because we can. Say okay. All right, so that was one that he paid in full, and now if you go back here into, I'm having some issues with this, but sorry.
At this point, we would print that out and take it out the back area
For shipping.
for shipping.
Well, yeah, this is your, this would be your normal.
It's called a Fusion order. Are you still there?
Yeah, so here's the guy we just did.
Yeah.
Okay, there's my freight. I charged him $5.
Yeah.
And here's this, deliver to front door. Now you're in MYOB Advanced. Now, when you go to, you're going to come in here and you're going to create a shipment. This is now Friday, okay? Okay. And I'm going to, oh wait, I'm sorry. I did the wrong thing. I'm going to print a pick list. And if you want to use our warehouse management, we can do that as well. And then you're going to pick it, and then you're going to deliver it. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself here. So here's your order, and I create a shipment like I normally would. Sales order. Okay. Action. I'm going to create a shipment. No, which warehouse? That's why I didn't do it. Okay, so this has got nothing to do with the point of sale system. This is just MYOB Advanced in the warehouse. Okay.
Yeah. So we still have to finish this off in advanced.
Well, you said you're going to deliver it or ship it.
That's right, yeah.
Right, so you wouldn't really do that in the point of sale system.
That's fine.
So all you're doing is creating a shipment. You're gonna you confirmed the shipment. I didn't print the pick list, but so now it's basically done. I can take it all out and deliver it, or ship it to them, and I'm done with the transaction. It's confirmed, which means everything's been relieved. Now, the one thing that I think you're looking for that is where the one thing I can't do yet is let's do this. I'll show you how that works. So the customer comes in. He's going to buy something. He's going to buy an item. And he's going to pick it up. Now I'm going to use the term ship, but don't worry about that. you can just say pickup, and he's going to pick it up from this store.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to say okay. I'm going to say okay, and it does tell you that. Again, that would say pickup, but that's what it means. So that's the thing I cannot do right now is to come in and say okay. So I'm just going to say he's going to pay for it, and I'll show you what I'm getting at. Say, okay. So now if I go into MYOB Advanced, and I look at the last one, sales order. Okay, so this is the one I just did. Okay?
Yep.
Now what you want to have happen, which is what I want to have happen, is I come in here and now I pull up this transaction here, which is the guy, I forgot his name, Westridge. Okay, he's going to come in here. And now you want to be able to have him pick this up
Yes.
through this interface at the register, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one thing I cannot do right now, but I have to do it for another customer, and I have to have it within 60 days. So that's the one thing I cannot do right now is pick it up at the store.
Yeah.
Can I interject?
Please.
So there's a few options you can do here.
Oh,
I see. Even from an MYOB advanced point of view, you've got the people that you want to ship out on Friday. So they said, yeah, deliver it Friday. So that's just really a report that you can generate. Okay, what are my shipments that I need to ship out on Friday? We can get that as a report. And then you could split that report into two, ones that I've paid and ones that which is going to be cash on delivery. And then with the thing that I'm just seeing here with Mike is when they're coming back into store, we could have a third report which is, okay, who are the customers that are going to come back into the store on a particular day to collect the items that they've paid for. And I'm thinking we could actually even go one step further whereby using the notifications in advance, you could send an email notification the day before saying, hey, this is a reminder, you're due to pick up your items in store tomorrow. So there's a few options you've got here, I think, just by using the reports and the notification processes in advance. And like Mike says, this is a point of sale system. It's a great point of sale system. But you've still got some of those rich MYOB advanced features that can complement the whole sale process that you're trying to overcome here.
Just a quick question with the Fusion. How do the UOMs work?
Oh, yeah, let me ask you that question. Now, yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I apologize. At the register, and they're really units of measure from a point of sale system. We don't handle different units of measure. Now, the reason for that is if you want to scan things and put it this way, a 6-pack of beer has a different barcode than a can of beer, has a different barcode than a case of beer. We have never had an instance where somebody wanted to enter an item and then enter a unit of measure. You can enter a quantity, but units of measure and point of sale usually don't go hand in hand.
Where do you have a unit of measure requirement within your point of sale at the shop there?
Nearly everything.
Like why?
We buy stuff in cartons and we'll sell it in cartons or sleeves, and we'll just use the same item, code, explanation, and just pick a pack or carton, or sometimes there's a third option and it's an inner, because it has an inner of a pack or a carton. So we use the same product because when we're entering it as a goods received, we enter it as the carton we buy it in.
Well, the only way we've handled that, or the way we have handled that in the past, is in is we have had these things that we call phantom items. Now, what a phantom item means is your trans-pack, if you will, you have a pack of gum, you have a collection of five packs in a trans-pack, and then you may have a case. Now, traditionally, those are separate barcodes. So when I scan, you can see the problem of allowing people to start entering units of measure at a point of sale system. You can imagine it can get pretty out of hand quickly. So if I have the same, so in other words, the same scan could either mean $1, $10, or $30. For the same scan, I have to select a unit of measure. Most retail is not going to operate that way. My experience has been.
So can you have a different barcode for each of that, for each pack and carton?
In the advanced system that you have, MYOB Advanced, it has an option in there to have multiple scanning for the same item. So say I buy two different products from two different companies, want to use the same point of sale, I can use the same point of sale and put 2 or 3 barcodes for that same product. And if I pull them both up to the counter, I can scan either one and it'll bring up that particular product that I want to sell it in.
Yes, you can do that. You can have multiple UPCs or identifiers for the same item. That's correct.
But then we can choose carton or pack or each.
Correct.
But MYOB Advanced allocates inventory at your stock unit of measure, not at your sales unit of measure.
Yeah. I think that's the way you guys have set it up too, Sharon. You're a stocking unit of measure. In other words, what you stock it at is, do you have 3 levels of stocking unit of measure? How did you set it up? Is it by carton? Is it by each pack?
It's how we buy it in.
Yeah, it's
how we buy it in
per
carton. And then if we sell an individual pack out of that carton, it'll take one item out of that carton.
So then your stock unit of measure is each.
Yeah.
Your base unit of measure. Yeah, I mean, what happens in MYOB Advanced, if you have a case that has 24 and you sell a case at a sales order, it's going to relieve 24, not 1. It relieves your inventory at the base unit of measure. Yeah, anyway,
I think we'll check. Let's check that with the MYOB implementation, see what it is, and then we can get back to.
That's correct. That's correct. If we buy a carton of something and we only ever buy it in a carton and sell it in a carton, we put it as the base as a carton.
Right.
What using as a base. But if we buy a case in and we sell it as individual as well, we do use the each as the base, and then but that's when the unit of measure comes into play. We will then put in the section how many's in that carton, and then we sell it off either as each or carton in the UOM. But how does that work if we sell it at the point of sale?
What we have done in the past for people that want to use units of measure is, I'll see if I can show you. We have a thing called a phantom item. Now, what that does is converts your, let's see if I can, I don't even know if I can find it here. It converts from your, say, best way I can do it is this. We have clients that are in the liquor store business, and they'll sell us a six-pack, but they also sell an each. You know, they have the little barrel at the end of the store. They'll sell an each. What the system will do is convert the phantom item back into the each. So I can have a barcode for a case, and when I scan that case, the system will say, oh, you're going to sell 24 eaches. So it'll make that conversion for you, but your base unit of measure remains static in MYOB Advanced.
Okay.
We don't have a lot of clients that do that. The key is I want to have a barcode that my clerk scans for every unit of measure.
Okay, so my other question is, right, say we've got, and this is, I'll do it at the extreme, so we've got a carton of product that we sell, and we sell an inner, and then we sell an each. Would we have to have those three items in the computer as three separate products, or not?
Well, unless you would have to have those as three separate. Well, no, let me back up. If you're using the phantom items, the reason we call them phantom is because they only exist in Fusion. They don't exist in MYOB Advanced. So they're a phantom to MYOB Advanced. You'll be able to look them up from the register. You'll be able to see when I look up an item, it'll say case, each, transpack, and they will have a separate UPC or barcode. But then when I scan it, the system will, when it sends it back into MYOB Advanced, it'll send it back at the appropriate unit of measure.
Okay, understand that. Do you have to physically do that with each item, or how does that work?
Well, you have to set up the phantoms for each item you want to be a phantom.
We have a couple thousand.
We have a few thousand items that we have to do that with.
We've got thousands of phantoms.
Thousands of phantoms.
So you sell all of your items by each unit of measure at the register.
Basically.
Yes.
Everything in a carton can be broken down and sold each, just about.
So you
90%.
So you don't.
90%.
Okay. Okay. Fairly unconventional.
Yeah.
From a retail
We're a
perspective.
shop. We're a warehouse and a retail shop combined.
So our big customers usually take cartons of stuff, but our walk-in public, they'll only want one kit roll. They won't want a
shop. We've got a walk-in shop.
They won't want a whole carton of paper towel. They'll just want one roll. So we can't sell them a whole carton.
Okay. I'll talk to Osmond and Carl about it, but
just a quick question for you, Sharon and Liz. Do you have a markup on then each price? It's not 1/24 for the carton price, is it?
A carton is a lot cheaper to buy
You
than
can
each.
a lot of standard things. You get 5% off if you buy the carton. If you buy them each, you get a specific price, and you can get.
It's cheaper to buy cartons.
right.
Yeah.
But
But,
like general public, they don't want a whole carton of things.
yeah, but what the question I'm saying is that I know it's cheaper, but if they only buy one of the 24 items in the carton, they don't get it for 1/24 of the price of the carton.
No.
There's an each price which is more expensive than the 1/24 price.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Which is
In
why.
this register class here, that you've got on your conversion screen, Mike, we didn't go much into. Can you do that there where you do the conversion, say I convert a carton from 24 to each, and this is the multiplier effect for the new price for each?
Yeah, that's part of the reason for the phantom is each phantom can have a different price. Your cost, your cost is pretty much the same. Like an each may be 1/24 the cost of a case, but the price is not 1/24 the price.
That's correct.
In MYOB Advanced right now, how do you set up a different price for each unit of measure?
We go into the special prices section and we put a base price, and then we put the, no, sorry, you go into sales order, click on sales order,
Yeah.
and then down to Wave, you got, oh no, you haven't got the one I've got.
Inventory.
Is it
All
in inventory?
But
Inventory.
you,
Oh, go into inventory.
okay.
No, it's not in there.
Are you thinking of finance AR?
Under
Sales
sales
prices?
order, and in the first section there's a where it's got wave picks, there's usually a sales, oh no, sorry, it's right down the bottom in manage.
Sales price.
See under manage down further, sales prices, we go into there and we put the item base price. This is where we can do all of our special pricing for customers as well. So we do a base price, and then we do the second base price, we then put a carton. So we've got unit, then a carton. This is how we split up an individual item, and then we put a customer. We can put all their special pricing in there if we want extra special pricing for customers.
So you have, how many thousand items did you say?
Yeah. Oh,
So
how many thousand?
you have
1,000.
one of these set up for each.
Yeah.
If we have sell them in base and carton, if we sell them in unit and carton, each of these are set up.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have four people that buy purchase, and they're responsible for their own setup of their carton and each pricing.
Okay.
And then if I've got set big clients that I sell, and I'll put them in there as special pricing.
Well, I guess here's the thing. I'm open to all kinds of discussions. Respectfully, I don't like the idea of a retail clerk picking a unit of measure.
No, that is our problem. We had to change the default from each to carton because potentially we could mistakenly have people pick the each default, rather it should have been a carton, so we swapped that round so we wouldn't be undercharging customers by mistake.
Right, I understand.
So that by default a carton gets charged, and if that's a mistake, well then we're not losing money.
The customer will notice it usually.
The customer will notice it, yes, but if it's the other way round, they will not speak up.
Right.
Yeah, I guess Mike's talking about best practice methodology in retail service systems, but it's not, like as he said respectfully, it's not a good practice to allow a retail cash register clerk to mess around with eaches and cartons and determine the price they charge.
We don't like that process, but it's what we have to do.
Right. Okay. Why don't we do this? So that's the one. Let me noodle on that and think about it. And Osmond and I'll get back. I'll get back with some thoughts. But I understand what you're doing, and it makes sense. The question is whether you set up a gazillion phantom items or set up a gazillion price things here. You're setting up a gazillion one way or the other.
Yeah. The fact that they've already set up all the gazillion in the inventory master, can we pull that from there for Fusion?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about, Osmond, is that if we already have these set up here, this might be a way to say, okay, create our phantoms using the various units of measure price combinations.
Yeah, because in that conversion table that you showed where you create, you make the phantoms, it has to use, we have to pull the base, and then it just say populate with these phantoms.
Yeah,
can I just interrupt?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I? Yeah. So there are a lot that haven't got anything in here because they're just sold as they are.
Right.
But the ones that be split are split in here with base unit, and base carton. A base each, whatever the product is. But it's not everyone is split up.
No, I understand. And the key, because a phantom, back to my liquor store, a phantom is a multiple of or a fraction of a base item. Just like
That's where we have it here now.
Yeah, just like a unit of measure. Same thing. It's either multiplied by or divided by. That's how you get that. And
so if you somehow draw that across to
Fusion.
the Fusion, that would be ideal.
Yeah, I know that makes sense. We always like doing things that make sense.
Yeah, the best practice for that would be that each of those individual units of measure has a separate type of barcode.
Yes.
Sorry, separate barcode scan. Not from what you described, Sharon, and Liz was saying that it has the exact same barcode, and then you add something or you do something to it to differentiate it after the scan does. But the real proper way to do it is saying if you those are actually units of measure that you not only, so you have a different unit of measure for stocking, but you have multiple units of measure for selling. So that they should actually have a barcode for sales purposes in the point of sale, which is distinct.
What we do is we barcode the individual item, so it will bring up the product, and then it is defaulted to whatever we choose as the sale price. You've got a base, and then you've got a sale price and a purchase price. Sale and a purchase. Or we choose at that point to whatever comes up under the sale, whether it be the carton or each, will come up immediately. And then we'll click on the unit of measure and change it to each if it's only an each. Yep. This is what we needed to do to stop people from selling eaches as cartons. But the one barcode we use is from the individual item just to bring up the product.
Understood, yeah, understand. I guess it's just an internal audit. Well, from as an ex-accountant, or a lapsed accountant, I should say, as an internal control mechanism, it's a little bit sketchy when you leave that to a retail register clerk to make that choice. So I guess, Carl, what we need to have a look at is how we have an audit trail of what's actually happened when they've changed it. Can you ladies maybe give me a copy of the screen that you just described in the last 3 minutes, where your drop-down menus and everything? You just do some screenshots of them and send them to me and Carl, and I'll get them off to Mike, and then we can have a bit of a think about it over the next few days.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Yep.
Is that okay, Mike?
Yeah. No, that's good. I like it.
The rest of it is excellent. The point of sale is just what we're after for quicker sales. It's just this complicated inventory part that we've got to work out.
Okay, all right.
I've seen it in liquor stores. It happens all the time. And what actually happens is that it actually delays the point of sale, from my perspective as a customer. When I go in there and say, well, I don't want 24 cans of bourbon and Coke, I actually want 3. And then they mess around and do a whole bunch of stuff there at the register trying to accommodate my requirement.
Well, this is what's slowing our sales down with using MYOB Advanced. We have to, on 90% of our items, we have to drop the arrow down and pick UOM or each.
But it wasn't on the internet.
Yeah.
This is what's slowing our sales down in advance.
Sure.
Okay. Well, that's good feedback. So Carl and I, and we'll discuss it and try and figure out some ideas for you, and then we'll discuss that with Mike, and we can go forward. But based on what Mike showed so far, from my take on it and from what I'm hearing from you guys, looks like you've got about a 99% fit to what you wanted, eh?
Definitely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Looks absolutely great.
Cool.
That's cool. Okay, well, let's put that on. We're going to go and chase that down, but let's not that. We're going to have to figure out how to make that happen. But give us some time. Next Monday is a public holiday in the United States, so unfortunately we're going to lose one day from talking to some of the other guys at Fusion. But just bear that in mind before we get back to you. Okay. But meanwhile, I'll talk to Carl and we'll try and sort something out as quickly as we can.
Okay, thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you.
Just for Mike's benefit, you guys are going on vacation on what date was it, 25th?
22nd.
22nd. Okay, so how long are you off for?
2 or 3 weeks.
She's not sure yet.
If I can keep Errol away, it'll be 3 weeks.
All right.
If
Okay,
not,
so the reason I'm bringing it up, ladies, is that I just want to, from the perspective of getting started on your implementation of the point of sale, I'm just letting Mike know that we, if at all possible, would like to try and place their order and commence doing some of the implementation prior to them going off on leave. So now,
but if not, we'd rather get something going than not, and Liz and my daughter are quite capable of making decisions or contacting us.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm giving a perspective of time frame here, but if not, that's fine too. But let's work on. Well, as we said, we've got a great fit here, so let's. I think we can agree that we can go forward on you acquiring the point of sale from Fusion. Is that right?
Yeah, we definitely like what we see in the Fusion.
And we don't have to hold it up because the bosses are away, because we can always contact them or sort it out for them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you're taking Errol with you, are you, Sharon?
Yes, dragging him out of.
My God, so you take your husband on vacation too? Oh.
Yes, yes.
Hey, I'm having 2 weeks off before they go, so I can have a rest before I put up.
Okay, then. Well, what we'll do is just let's get some screenshots as I discussed.
Yes.
I just want to confirm with you the actual number of clerks, let's call them clerks or clerks, that you have. How many of them might be salespeople? How many are actually just straight out retail or registered people?
What we were looking at 3 Fusion on the front counter to replace 3 sales MYOB Advanced.
Okay, but that's 3 at any one time, but you have more than 3 people that will be accessing it and using it, right?
Every single one of our staff.
Oh, all our staff. We've got 12 staff.
14.
And anyone can jump on and do a sale.
So there's probably 12.
How many? 12 or 13?
Oh, say 10.
Okay. I just want to make sure we understand what the actual user configuration is. And as you remember when Mike was walking through before, some can be just retail clerks, some can be salespeople, some can be admin. You know, there are multiple variations to the theme.
I'll have to sit down and have a good think about that and get the numbers too.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't need it right now, but just have a think about that and then shoot that across, and then I can share that with Mike, and then we can configure the pricing for you to suit.
Okay then.
I just like, as I said to you last Friday when I was there, I want to make sure we cover off all the bits and pieces so that we don't end up in a situation that you described to me where certain things didn't come across.
And what we had grief with is the UOMs.
Yep.
With previous programs we've tried, UOMs have caused all the grief.
That's good that you. It's good feedback, and it's good food for thought for Fusion as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he'll probably go off and have a look at some of the retail outlets that do in the liquor store environment that probably do that in the US. I don't know if they do it in the US, but in Australia they definitely you get hobos walking up, they give you one.
Someone really needs to look at our inventory and advanced system to understand what we're talking about. So.
That's why I was asking for some screenshots. Do some screenshots of all of it step by step and send it to us, or alternatively, Carl and I can organise with Indivia to get access to the system. We talked about that on Friday. We're going to give Dylan, I think it was Dilma, was it? There was
happy for someone to log in and have a good look at how we operate.
All right, let's have a look at that. We might be able to get a login, and then if Mike, if you're available, it might be a good idea to have a bit of a good look at what their inventory master has been set up like.
Yeah. No, and I agree, and I understand their issue, and I would like to say it's the first time we've run across it, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's just units of measure are always problematic at retail.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries, that's good. Well, thank you very much, Michael, Mike, and Sharon and Liz, and who else is there? I didn't pick up the other person.
Sam.
Okay, cool. And thank you very much for your time this morning. And Carl joined us this morning from MYOB, so we wanted to make sure that MYOB was across what was going on too, because of the meeting we had last Friday. I mean, clearly you expressed some concerns that there was some things fell between the cracks during the implementation of MYOB Advanced, and so I've got Carl's on board here. Unfortunately, Brad wasn't able to attend for a conflicted meeting, but I'll recognise Carl, and we'll move forward on that basis to get you guys up and running.
But thanks very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, thanks guys. Mike, I'll talk to you next day or something, right?
Yeah,
okay?
you've got my cell phone's always on, so don't worry.
Yeah, mine too.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Carl.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks guys. Bye.
Bye.